21st century. He is still in his 40s, so there is a possibility that he will be in power for a long time, but on the other hand, talk about the next manager is endless. In the midst of all this, two influential former members of the team are actually considering the same person as the next manager. Although that person's leadership and baseball skills are highly regarded, he is not the leading candidate that is often said. This time, we will delve into that person's track record, evaluation, and the possibility of him emerging as the next manager. Fatigue and resignation push for a person with a proven track record. On September 17th, at the 92 professional baseball team owners meeting held at the Grand Prince Hotel Shintaka in Minato-ku, Tokyo, Yamaguchi of the Giants and the owners showed their intention to continue as manager to the press. However, the reporters who interviewed him said that they sensed strong dissatisfaction with manager Abe from the way he spoke. Yamaguchi has made it clear that he will continue as manager under Abe, but when asked if he was also troubled by the departure of key players, he sternly replied, "But that happens to every team. We have to overcome that." Quote. This is how he expresses his displeasure towards manager Abe. The next season's successor is certain, but reporters have already begun talking about who will succeed Yasuda. The leading candidates are Hideki Matsui and Masaru Kawada, the second-team manager. However, as mentioned at the beginning, the two people with the most influence among the team's former players are neither Matsuishi nor Kuwatashi. The person who is currently the manager of the Giants is Masahiro Kawa, known as the God of Bunting. Kawaichi was born in Okayama City in 1964, and played as a player while attending Okayama Minami High School, and participated in Koshien twice, in 1981 and 1982. He was selected 4th overall by the Yomiuri Giants in the 1982 draft. In 1983, he was thoroughly trained in the basics of defense and base running in the second team, and his defensive talent was developed. In 1984, he was promoted to the first team for the first time, and on June 13th of that year, he made his professional debut. In 1989, he became the first player in the Giants to wear the number 50 jersey, and secured a regular spot as a shortstop. In addition to his solid defensive skills, he was a key player in the second baseman's lineup, using his reliable bunting skills as a weapon. He was also versatile, able to play not only shortstop but also second and third base and batting. In particular, his sacrifice bunts set a world record, with a total of 133 buntings, and his bunting success rate exceeded 90%, earning him the nicknames of the God of Bunting and the Bunt Craftsman. He won the Golden Glove Award a total of 6 times, and was highly regarded as a defensive pro. In 1994, when he played the entire season, he recorded a personal best batting average of .302 and made it to the top 9, showing his brilliance in terms of batting. Although he did not steal many bases, he studied the habits of opposing batters as a general, and as a general, he studied the details, resulting in a high level of overall base batting ability. In 2003, under then-manager Hara, he was promoted to first-team defensive general manager and initially announced his retirement from active play. A retirement ceremony was also held, and it was decided that he would be appointed to Kochi, but manager Hara resigned shortly after, and the appointment remained on hold for a while. After some confusion, the team told him that Kochi would be appointed to the second-team defensive general manager, and Kawashi, who was not satisfied with this, withdrew his retirement. The team replied that it would be difficult to play for the Giants, and he decided to continue playing for another team. He then transferred to Chunichi in 2004, where Hiromitsu Ochiai had just been appointed manager. While on the bench at Chunichi, he contributed to 2 league championships and supported the team until his retirement in 2006. After retiring, he immediately took up the path of coaching. From 2007 to 2010, he served as first-team defensive general manager Kochi and second-team manager for Chunichi, where he learned firsthand Ochiai's strict coaching style. After 2011, he returned to the Giants, and while coaching at various levels, including as the manager of the second team, the head coach of the first team, and the manager of the Army, he made a significant contribution to the development of young players. As a coach, Kawaguchi Kazuhisa, who was an investor at the time, testified that Kawaguchi was a man of great passion, capable of delivering, and extremely passionate. As a coach, Kawaguchi was a man who could not let things go without analyzing what happened that day. He has long contributed to the team as a coach who constantly shows an attitude of improvement, not only with his bunting skills but also with his defensive theory and base running. Tatsuro Oka's view of Abe Sai and Kawaichi's coaching. One person who has criticized Kawaichi's coaching is Tatsuro Oka, the last of the nine. On the other hand, Hiroshi has doubts about the current Giants manager Abe's failures, and although he had high expectations for Abe when he first took office, he pointed out that will discourage the players after seeing the actual failures on the field. That scene was in the game against Yakult on July 17, 2025. In that game, the Giants suffered a come-from-behind loss due to 3 failed bunts. At this time, manager Abe decided to make a challenging substitution immediately after Deguchi Yuta failed to bunt. Fatigue may have been a warning, but it is also the manager's duty to be patient. The players are the ones who know best how big the mistake was. He said that Takachi needs to follow up properly, and questioned Abe's decision to immediately replace a young player who failed to bunt. Hiroka also pointed out that the Giants' coachy players used to only convey what they were told, and that if they only convey what they were told from above, the players will not learn. On top of that, the coachy players around him seem to have changed since Abe became manager. That is why they highly valued his cute and structured coaching even among the players who had high expectations. Since Kawa, who holds the record for the Jita, is teaching, there is no mistake in the content he teaches. However, even if Kawa understands, it is no good if the other person does not understand. He should not just teach techniques because he can do it himself, but also teach ways of thinking. He commented that it is meaningless unless the players realize this themselves. Kawaishi is a leader who conveys the essence of things, including value and theory, rather than simply imposing techniques. Oka highly values Kawaishi's performance as a coachy player, but he also has high expectations for manager Abe, which is why he throws out some harsh words that could be described as loving advice. However, while it is unclear how long the Abe administration will last, it is quite possible that if something were to happen, the city of Tsuyoshi could once again praise Kawaishi. This may indicate that Kawaishi not only provides technical guidance, but also has a mature coaching style and a philosophy of understanding as a person in need. Will Kawaishi, who has been recognized by Kochi, become a man of his own style? When Kawaishi transferred to Chunichi in 2004, Ochiai, who was then manager of the Forest, made the independent decision to use a player who was already well received in the first inning, and welcomed Kawaishi, who holds the world record for bunting. Although he was not a regular player, Kawaishi made his presence felt at key moments, such as throwing a farewell home run, and contributed to the team's league championship that year. After that, he continued to make the bench under manager Ochiai's Oridryu coaching style, developing his eye as a coach. Manager Ochiai's coaching style is always rational. He said that he would definitely use any player who had the knowledge he had, and he clearly stated that if a player was outstanding in just one area, he would put him on the bench, even if he would be considered a valuable asset in any other team. This way of thinking resonates with Kawaishi, and it forms the basis of his coaching philosophy of focusing on his own role. Furthermore, Ochiai's management style is characterized by a strong sense of strict patience and precision, such as instructions not to let the players run in order to avoid changing the flow of the game. Having seen this up close, Kawaishi never made a move, even if he couldn't score any additional points, because the flow would change. In this way, he would protect his small lead until the very end. He says that this was Ochiai's third-rate nature. Kawaishi also revealed an anecdote about how Ochiai, the manager, would create space for the players to get greedy and thoroughly control the flow of the game. When Kawaishi was selected as the third base coach under Ochiai's policy, he was given the role of instantly understanding Takeo Nobuyuki's complex signs and conveying them to the players, and he faced the mistakes and challenges he faced in practice. During this time, he was repeatedly told to be more careful with the drop, but he grew as a player. He was required to constantly grasp the situation of multiple runners and give precise instructions, and his coaching experience at Ochiai's Chunichi Dragons must have been a great asset to Kawaishi later on. It goes without saying that his decision to move to Chunichi Dragons, even after retiring from active play, ultimately contributed greatly to the formation of Ishii as a coach. From this experience, Kawaishi has continued to thoroughly master the basics in his coaching at the Giants, playing baseball that is thoughtful and clearly defining roles while drawing out individuality. After being appointed to the first-team Kochi team in 2011, the team's number of missed runs dropped dramatically from the second highest in the league to the lowest, and his thorough focus on training defense is a perfect example of Ochiai's baseball, and it is no exaggeration to say that he is the shining successor to Ochiai's baseball style, with his sense of baseball and strategic philosophy. The day may not be far off when he will step forward as the next candidate for manager, inheriting Ochiai's teachings. Is there a possibility that Kawhi will become the Giants' next manager? Is there a possibility that Kawhi, who is highly regarded by the Giants' big-name alumni, will actually become the Giants' next manager? In fact, towards the end of the 2023 season, amid rumors of a replacement for then-manager Hara, many names were floated as candidates for the Giants' next manager. It is surprisingly unknown that Kawaishi's name was among them. A source close to the ninth said, "There is also a view that Kawhi Masahiro of Kochi Sogo might be a good fit for the current Giants, who need to win while developing young players." His image of bunting and solid defense makes him seem like a quiet person, but he was a passionate person even during his playing days. He would sometimes run wild behind the bench, and when he got angry he was uncontrollable. His passion for baseball is unmatched. He has a wealth of coaching experience, and there are voices saying that they would like to see Kawhi as manager at least once. After retiring in 2006, Kawhi served as a coach for the Chunichi Giants for a long time, and is also known for his contributions to developing young players. However, there is also a theory that in order to become the Giants' manager, there are certain conditions, such as having experience in the Giants' semifinals, having experience as a substitute player, or having been an ace player during his playing days. In that case, although Kawaishi was a key player, he has no experience of being a reserve player, and he was with Chunichi at the end of his career, so he is not in the semifinals with the Giants. In that case, the hurdle for him to be appointed to the position in a traditional Giants team may be high, but he is still a Giants alumnus, and there are many voices saying that he has both a proven track record from his playing days and solid coaching experience. Just before the current manager Hara's appointment, some critics and members of the association said that while manager Hara's plan was impeccable, the team has recently been relying on reinforcements, and from now on they will need to win with the power of their young players. In that respect, there were also voices saying that expectations were pinned on the young players and development force in Kochi, which is a good place to be. If Kawaishi were to become manager, it is said that he would play solid baseball with an emphasis on defense, and that there is a high possibility that he would also inherit the spirit of teamwork baseball. Given this background, it is quite convincing that Kawaishi was recommended before Abe became manager. No matter who the next manager is, the pick for the next manager always attracts a lot of attention. The day when Kawaishi is once again talked about as a leader candidate may not be far off. What did you think? Kawaishi has set world records with his solid defense and bunting techniques since his playing days, and has continued to enthusiastically support the growth of players in Kochi, steadily progressing on the path to becoming a great coach. He is highly anticipated by big-name Giants alumni and those involved in the association, and it is understandable that there are voices saying that he is